Elite Facts presents
Worst cases of video game addiction.
10.
It's important to remember that although gaming is very addictive and fun, it's all based around things that don't actually exist. So when a Chinese man bought a legendary sword, but very much virtual, you'd think his reaction to it being sold would be less than to murder somebody. But murder he did. The victim even offered to refund the man after the joke went wrong, but the damage was done and he was stabbed to death while he slept. He was handed a suspended death sentence for the murder.
9.
There is sadness behind this family photo. The young man seen here slowly became addicted to the video game World of Warcraft. So much so that it led to his suicide at just age 13. He had left a suicide note saying he wanted, quote, to join the heroes of Azeroth, before he jumped off of a tall building after playing World of Warcraft for 36 hours straight. His parents are now suing the Chinese distributors of the game for $12,500.
8.
It's not exactly uncommon to stay up and play a game all night when it's released, but how about trying 3 in a row? Well, after 50 hours of straight playing StarCraft, a Korean man collapsed and died from heart failure, which was the strain on his body. It was an accumulation of exhaustion, dehydration, and lack of sleep that caused his death.
7.
Choosing a mage in an RPG is one of the more challenging of builds. Often weak against attacks at the start, but building in power as the game goes on. But one boy took his online fire powers from in-game to reality. Being completely immersed in the game, he began acting like his character in real life and took on his persona. After a classmate teased him for it, he took it to the next level and set the kid on fire. The classmate was severely burnt before he received any medical help.
6.
Having twins is either a blessing or a nightmare, depending on how much sleep you need. But the unthinkable happened to these two when their father severely neglected them for a video game. Greg Kleinmark was so interested in playing his Game Boy, he dumped his kids in the bath and left them to play while he went and played in another room. The two children were too young to be left unattended, and over the 30 minutes he was out of the room, both drowned due to his neglect and addiction to a game.
5.
Another case of RPG addiction, and this time it's the game EverQuest that caused it. One player was believed to have taken rejection from a possible online love interest too far and committed suicide because of it. On Thanksgiving, Dave Sean Woolley committed suicide with the help of a revolver, and it was believed by his mother to all have been caused by the game he was completely immersed in.
4.
A man surnamed Wu collapsed, motionless, and died after a 19-hour computer gaming binge at an internet cafe in Shanghai. Security footage showed Wu coughing blood before suddenly collapsing in his chair.
3.
Prius is an online game that immerses people into a second life of fantasy, and one couple got so involved their own life turned into a nightmare. Their 3-year-old daughter died of neglect after they played for so long. They had invested so much time in the game and their online daughter that their real-life one collapsed and died of malnutrition after a 12-hour binge of gaming. She was dead when they got back from an internet cafe.
2.
Skipping school is something most kids have done, but one kid really did a number on his mom. The kid consistently skipped class to spend 16 hours a day on his console over a period of a month. His plan was simple: leave the house for school, hide out until he knew his mom left for work, and then go home and play away. When she got back from work, he'd already been back anyway, so no suspicion arose. He was eventually disrupted from his month-long escape plan when the school called to check on how his illness was doing. He called them up and faked a story about an operation to cover his absence.
1.
Possibly the most sadistic and worst act on the list is that of 17-year-old Daniel Petric, who became so addicted to Halo 3 that he went on to murder his own mother and attempt the same to his father. His parents had refused to allow him to spend all day playing the game. Later on, he asked his parents to shut their eyes as he had a surprise for them. They obliged, and he shot them both in the head. His father somehow survived, but was left disfigured. His mother died instantly. Petric went on the run, but was caught some hours later in a car with no gas, and in the passenger seat was his copy of Halo 3.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.